All right, looks like we're getting set to play some hockey here. The refs are making their way to center ice. Players are hyping themselves up. Hernandez to take the face off. They make their way to center ice. Puck is dropped. Face off won by the Ravens. Now picked up by the Falcons. Falcons fired into the Ravens zone and in behind the net. Amade back with it on her stick. She's going to backhand it forward. That's onto a Falcon stick, and now there's a battle in the corner for it. From the corner, it gets in behind the goal line and picked up by Sears. She comes in to help out. She goes out the far side for McDonald. McDonald over to the near side. It gets into the neutral zone. It gets pushed back. They're saying that everybody's on side. Play comes back to the wall, and now Hernandez picks it up. Hernandez goes in behind the net looking for some room to move. She gets it to the McDonald. McDonald back out to the neutral zone. It's onto the stick. Turn it back in the neutral zone. They're going to walk their way in. And now from the outside, they get shot towards the net. It goes wide on the near side. Picked up by Amade. Amade chips it forward, and now Tran has it on her stick. Tran with a chip off the wall, and she's going to get it deep as the Ravens complete their first change of the game. Tran from behind the net. She still has control of it. Now she loses a handle on it as it comes up the near side. Ravens put it back to the middle, picked up by the Falcons, and the Falcons are going to carry it out into the neutral zone. There's outlet pass picked up by the Ravens. Stepping up on that one is David. She puts it back into the Ravens zone, or into the Falcons zone. The Falcons have to go pick it up behind the net. Falcons from behind the net, put it around the far side, picked up by Macy. She puts it towards the net. The goaltender puts that up over top of the net. Now it goes into the front of the net and onto the goalie's glove after a shot from the short side by the Richmond Ravens. She's going to hold on to that, and we get a stoppage of play with 13 minutes and 32 seconds remaining in the first period. Tran remains on, take the face off. Puck is dropped. It goes won by the Falcons. They're going to put it in behind. Now the Ravens step up. They get it behind the net. Ravens battling for it on the far side there, deep in the corner. Now gets to underneath the ref's feet, and play turned back the other way. First one, there's a Raven. She's going to try and keep it down low. Play comes out. The players tied up though. Now the Falcons have it. Falcons go over to the far side. Ravens with it on the stick. Ravens try to cut to the net. They get to a scoring position. Backhand towards the net, goes just wide. Now stepping up the defender. She's going to put that towards the net. And it's wide on the near side. Coming out the far side, the Falcons get the blue line, held in by Macy. And now we have a penalty coming up, and it's going to be against the Richmond Ravens. Goaltender makes her way in as the delayed call comes up, and now a shot from the point. Shot right on, saved by Babcock, who holds on to that one. Ravens go to the penalty kill with 12:47 remaining in the first period. Sear, Amade, Miguel, and Kay out there for the Ravens. Puck is dropped, face off one, out to the wall. Sears to be the first one there for the Ravens. She tries to backhand that high. It goes off the glass and now into Kay's feet. Kay with it. She's going to fire it in, hits the defender, and now the defender goes out the wall and into the neutral zone, and we come back in 2-on-2. Sorry, that's 3-on-2. Walking into a shooting position. Shot right on, saved by Babcock. Kicks out to the wall. Play continues. Puck back to the point. Shot towards the net. Blocked now from the slot. Shot wide of the net. From behind the net, they come out front. Babcock reads that play, puts her stick on it, and holds it. Holds onto it for a stoppage. We got 1 minute 31 seconds remaining in the penalty to the Richmond Ravens. 12:18 in the period. The face-off to the right side of Babcock. David, McDonald, Sear, and Nishi out there for the Ravens. It gets cleared out down the ice. The goaltender comes up to play that. That gets by her. Ravens are the first ones there. She gets a stick on that. Now it comes back to the blue line, held by the Ravens. They're unable to keep control of it though, and now the Falcons come back into the Ravens zone. Falcons to the outside. Ravens with a good stick check there to slow down their advancement. Now across the pass, fake 1-T, and now right into the slot. Play continues. Now a shot towards the net, hits the body in front, cleared to the outside by David, backhanded down the ice by Sear. And the Ravens go for a full change on the power or penalty kill unit. Falcons pushed back by the Ravens penalty killers, and now the play comes out the near side. First one that's going to be there is David. She's going to put it off the wall and deep. Now she goes for her change. Penalty killers complete their change, and now the play comes out of the Falcons zone into the neutral zone and kicked back into the Ravens end. On to Sears' stick. Sears going to put it down ice. That gets into the neutral zone and all the way down into the Falcons end. Falcons defender is going to come out the near side as they're looking for some open ice in this power play. Ravens turn them back, and the Falcons have to regroup in the neutral zone as they get back on side. Now walking in with it, the Falcons coming into a shooting position. Shot right on, saved by Babcock, and the play gets clear to the outside by the Ravens. Play continues back to the blue line with 7 seconds remaining. Shot wide of the net as it goes out the far side. The penalty is set to expire for the Ravens. Ravens coming out. Now we're going to have a icing called against the Richmond Ravens with 10:43 remaining in the first period. The Ravens peel off the penalty. Face-off will come down into the Ravens zone, the right side of Babcock. Puck is dropped, face-off won by the Ravens. They carry it out to the outside, now up off the boards and into the neutral zone. Play goes off the wall and a battle for it in front of the Falcons bench. Ravens win that battle, and now they're going to try and carry it from the outside, pass across the zone. Ravens unable to handle that one cleanly. Now the play stays deep in the Falcon zone, just behind the goal line. The centering attempt ends up on the Falcon stick, and she's going to headman it up the ice. Falcons from the outside now just chip it deep and go for a chase. From in behind the net, it comes around to the near side. Play bounces awkwardly off the wall and stopped there. Now a centering attempt. It gets out into a shooting position. Save made by Babcock as a shot was right on. Play gets cleared out into the neutral zone, up off the bench, and on the Sears stick. Sears puts it back up into the air, and the Falcons glove it into their own bench. The play will stop with 9:51 remaining in the first period, and the face-off will be just outside the Falcon zone. Puck is dropped, face-off won by the Falcons. They go back to their defender, who brings it forward. Now onto the defense on the Macy stick. She's going to chip it across the ice. Knocked down by the Ravens forward, and now the play comes back to the blue line. Ravens with a shot, short side, put it in the back of the net, in the lead with 9:38 remaining in the first period. They score the first goal of the game. Looks to be scored by Sear. Puck is dropped, and the face-off one out to the wall. The Ravens slow it down at the blue line, and now Macy puts it forward as she's looking for Kay. Kay's going to turn and fire it in. It hits a linesman before getting deep into the Falcon zone from the outside. Kay puts it towards the net. It goes out the far side, and now the Falcons have it on their stick. Falcons look to advance it forward. Ravens slow that down, and now it gets shipped to the outside. Sear with it on her stick. She puts it on net. The goaltender makes a save and holds on to it as she has the Ravens on the doorstep. She's going to hold on to that one. 9:08 remains in the first period. 1-0 is the score. Miguel to take the face-off for the Ravens. She's having a conversation with her players. She's telling them where she's going to win the face-off to. She won it there, but it was a little bit too clean, and now the Ravens have to retreat back. Ravens lose their footing, get some help there. Now it's on the stick of one of the Falcons. Falcons cut to the outside, ends up onto the stick of the Ravens, and the Ravens go off the glass and out into the neutral zone. Way to the races is Cabana. Cabana working her way in. She gets a shot blocked there by the Falcons. Play continues on the stick of the Ravens. They shoot it right on, saved by the goaltender. Wolf onto that one. 9:38 remains in the first period. Sorry, 8:38 remains in the first period. Face-off is going to be the right side of the Falcons goaltender, deep in the Falcons zone. Let's get the face-off, Miguel. Puck is dropped, face-off one by the Ravens. They go D to D. Ravens able to get control of this. Cabana takes over. Cabana to the outside. She's going to get center ice and then dump it deep as she goes back for a change. Ravens jump in there, now deep in behind the net. There's a battle for it. It goes out down low into the corner. Falcons out with it on their stick to get it to the blue line and out. Ravens, Sear with it on her stick. Sear reverses the play, and the Ravens just kind of let that chip in. It gets out to the blue line. The Ravens get it back into the neutral zone as they're now get it into their own zone and to the outside. The youngest Sear puts it out the wall and out into the neutral zone again as the Falcons are looking for some open ice to come in with it. Sear, the AP, takes her player to the outside. Puck goes out into the corner and the Ravens get control of it. Hernandez forward for Kay. Kay out to the middle looking for the younger Tran. And it gets just past her from behind. Play still advances deep into the Falcon zone and around in behind their goal line. Out the far side, they reversed the play as they had some Ravens on top of them. Falcons from behind their goal line. They're going to bring it down low and into the corner. From the corner, now it's a one-on-one. They're going to dump it in, and Sear stops that one. She tries to reverse the play back over to Kay. Kay unable to get there first as the Falcons touch it. Now the play comes into the Ravens zone, carried by Tran. Tran looking for Hamadeh, and that gets past her and down into the ice. So that was Miguel. Get caught past her and down into the far into the ice. We get a icing call. 6:38, or pardon me, remaining in the first period. Miguel to take the face off. But drop face off one to the wall, picked up by David. David just lets it go down ice. First one there is the Ravens. It gets turned back though by the Falcons. Falcons now with it. Their pass hits its mark, and now she carries it in. Gets through the first defender, and now there's going to be an interference call, I think, against David. Oh, tripping call against David. The Ravens go to the penalty kill yet again here in this first period. 1-0 is the score for the Richmond Ravens. 6:09 remains in the first. Falcons getting their second power play. Macy, Sear, Miguel, and Sear out there for the penalty killing unit. Puck is dropped, face off one by the Falcons to the outside. Now they're looking to set it up back to the blue line, walking the blue line now. The shot towards the net and finds the back of the net is backed up. Unable to find that through a screen. 1-1 is the score. With 6:01 remaining in the first period. Hernandez takes the face off. Puck is draw, face off one by Hernandez forward. She's going to chip it on that, and now the rebound picked off by the Falcons as they take it to the outside. Falcons bring it out in the neutral zone before the Ravens defender steps up and puts it back deep. Goaltender comes out to play that. The Falcons defender, she gets a pocket picked by the Ravens. Ravens from behind the net now, back to the blue line. Walking with it from the blue line is Macy. She takes a shot. It's just wide of the net as it comes out the near side. Now the play goes back down low. They try to pass it back into the middle, and that's picked off by a Falcon. Falcons take it to the outside, now get it around Macy. Back checking on that, though, is the Ravens forward. Hernandez, she sees an open player on the near wing, and she puts it over to the near side for, I think that was Basquette. Basquette unable to handle it cleanly. Now goes out on the Macy stick on the Ravens zone. Macy, she's going to cut back the other way now and reverses the play, looking for the Ravens forward, Basquette. Basquette gets in front of her. She's unable to handle it cleanly, and now back into the Falcon zone. Falcons put it in, but Macy turns it back the other way before it gets turned back on her. Falcons from the blue line overstep the pass, or the shot as the puck as they were trying to get it forward, and now it comes back into the Ravens zone before the Ravens get it back down ice. Icing waved off. The play continues deep in the zone. Ravens pushing it along in the Falcon zone, and now it comes back out on the stick of the Ravens defender. She fans on the first pass attempt, but gets the second one forward to make sure it gets out of the zone, and now the play comes back along the ice and down into the far end where it's going to be icing on the play with 4:16 remaining in the first period. The puck is going to come back down into the Raven zone. I think it'll be to the right side of Babcock. We have Nishi and Amade out there for the defensive pairing. Tran's going to take the face off with Tran and Wang out there as the forwards. Play comes in behind the net onto the stick of the Ravens. Nishi, she gets it back to the blue line before it bounces around. Face off dot goes out to the point to the far side. Shot towards the net. Now cleared to the outside as they hit a body. Center attempt gets cleared to the outside. Ravens unable to handle it cleanly, and now a shot from a high percentage scoring area saved by Babcock. It comes back to the blue line, bounces its way into the slot, and the Ravens are going to dump it out into the neutral zone. Puck bouncing around there as it makes its way into the Falcons zone, and now the Falcons with some speed cutting towards the Ravens end. They get stick checked as the play continues. Miguel steps in to get it down ice. Falcons reverse the play on the Ravens, and now the Falcons bring it into the Ravens zone. Falcons to the far side, they lose their footing, asking for a call, but nothing comes, and now a shot from the point hits a body in front, and now cleared. The Ravens are going to carry it out 3-on-2. Ravens Sear cuts to the far wall, and now the Ravens are called offside with 3 minutes and 13 seconds remaining in the first period. Face off just outside the Falcon zone. Puck is dropped. Face off won by the Ravens. They go over to the far side. Now walking in is Kay. She fires it in on a dump play, and it goes into the corner and around the back to the blue line now. From the blue line, a shot put towards the net, saved by the goaltender. She clears it out to the corner. Ravens battling for it in the corner. The Falcons are the first one there. The Falcons now back out to the blue line. Ravens going to stick on that one and hold it in. They're going to put it back down low and give chase. Play continues deep in the Falcon zone, and now the Ravens unable to stop the Falcons as they bring it around to the near side. Falcons get it down ice. Ravens onto their stick. Now back at it across the zone. It bounces on the defender. Ravens now get it back into the neutral zone before it comes back into their own zone. Play pass across the zone. It comes down into the Falcons end. The Falcons turn it back the other way. Puck bouncing off the wall onto Morin's stick. Morin unable to handle that one cleanly. That play continues as it goes down ice. Picked up there by David. David from behind the net. She passes it forward looking for, I think it's Tran. Puck bounced off the wall. Read by the Falcons. They slow the Ravens down. Ravens have to hold themselves on side. Now they get control of it. Ravens walking across the blue line. And now a shot hits a body and goes high in the air and out to the wall. Falcons make it down into the Ravens zone. Ravens pick it up on their stick. David with it. She's looking for a far side pass. Looking for, I think that's the captain. She shoots it right on, saved by the goaltender. McDonald with a good shot. He's got a scoring chance there. Puts it on net. Goaltender makes a good save. You got to stop what you play with a minute 39 remaining in the first period. Tied at 1. Puck is dropped, face off. Won by the Falcons. They're going to put it around behind their own net and now back out as they look for a breakout. They work to the outside and now they come down the far side. Their shot blocked there by the Ravens. Back checker. Now from behind the net, they try to put it out front. It goes to the high point. Now a shot from the point comes wide of the net. Play continues. Now from behind the net, Tran gets it past the first Falcon player. She cuts to the outside and now gets body check to the wall, and the ref's hands go in the air, and we're going to have a penalty called against the Falcons with 1:07 remaining in the first period. The Ravens go to their first power play of the game. Power play unit comes out on the ice. Miguel's going to take the face off. Face off won by Miguel. Back to Hernandez. Hernandez back to the blue line, and now Ravens able to hold it in on the wall. Now a shot towards the net, saved by the goaltender, and we have 58.7 seconds remaining in the first period. 1:51 remaining in the power play for the Richmond Ravens. Miguel's going to take the face off again. Puck drop, face off one this time by the Falcons. They get it under their stick and into the corner. From the corner, they try to advance it forward. The Ravens get a stick on that. Now back to the blue line it comes. Ravens fired back deep. Now bounces around before the Falcons get it out to the blue line, held again by the Ravens. They're going to put it back down low. Ravens waiting down low for it. Now it gets put back into the corner. Back to the blue line. From the blue line, they're going to walk the blue line. This time, a chip to the top of the circle, walking into the top of the slot. Now the Ravens defender picks it up on the near side. Miguel with it on her stick. She drops it back down to the top of the circles. Ravens trying to open up the play now as they take it back to the blue line. The shot from the blue hits a stick, goes to the other defender. She's going to put it towards the net with 11 seconds remaining on the clock. Now a battle from down low. The Ravens come out with it. Back to the blue line. Shot to the blue line. Right on. Saved by the goaltender. And they get a quick whistle as the play is stopped by the referee. 1.8 seconds remains in the first period. 54 seconds in the power play from the Richmond Ravens. Ravens pull their goalie with the 2 seconds remaining in the period. Puck drop, face off one, shot towards the net. It comes out the near side from a funny bounce behind the net, but the Ravens unable to jump on that one before the end of the period. Shots on goal, 12-6 in favor of the Richmond Ravens. Welcome back for the second period with 20 minutes here on the clock. 1-1 is the score, and we have 52 seconds remaining in the power play for the Richmond Ravens. The players making their way to the ice. Babcock to their net on the far end. It looks like the face-off is going to be taken by Sear. Sorry, that's going to be the captain, McDonald. Falcons make their way to their prospective end. Here we go. Set to start. All right, goaltenders are ready. Here we go. Puck is dropped. Face off one by the Ravens. They're going to put it back to the defender. From the defender, she's going to carry it in onto the stick of the captain, McDonald, with a great move. She shoots it towards the net. Now she loses her footing. The stick gets underneath her feet. Puck comes back to the blue line. Ravens unable to hold it, and now they're going to have to retreat back. You have to be careful as they have some pressure on them. Puck bounced off the wall and hits the linesman and now turned back by the Falcons. Ravens get a stick on that one. Falcons now have it in their stick. Now they're going to go out the far side and all the way down the ice. The Ravens are going to have to collect it behind their own goal line. 18 seconds remains in the power play for the Richmond Ravens on this opening shift of the second period. Ravens have to turn it back, and now they come back up ice. But then we have a penalty coming up, and it's going to be against the Ravens. Because there must have been a retaliation from a couple of bumps down in the Ravens zone, and it looks like it's going to be Sear making her way to the box. Interference is the call. The face-off will be deep in the Ravens zone to the right side of Babcock. Falcons scored with about 8 seconds in the last power play they had. But we're 4-on-4 here for 9 seconds or less. Puck is dropped and it goes over to the blue line. From the blue line, they attempt to go to the net. That hit blocked there by the Ravens. Now they're going to just fire it deep, and the Ravens are going to pick it up behind the net. Macy with it on her stick. Macy's going to put it down ice. She gets it out to the neutral zone as the Falcons have to touch up. Now the Falcons at the center ice with a couple of moves work their way in. From the outside, they take it down low and cut towards the net. From behind the net, now they're looking to set up. Falcons cutting to the high top of the point. Now from the point over to the near side. Shot right on. Saved by Babcock. And they put it in the back of the net on the rebound. And the Ravens down by 1 now with 18:42 remaining in the second period. 2-1 is the score. Players making their way to center ice. It looks like we're going to have Tran and Cabana for the forwards. Puck drop, face off won by the Falcons. They kick it forward onto the stick along the Ravens. Now it comes back to the Falcons blue line. They go D to D. The Ravens try to force it forward, and now it's going to be into the Ravens zone. Ravens take over down in their own zone. They carry it in behind their own net, now put it off the wall, and it comes back out to the top of the circles. Held in, though, by the Falcons. Actually wasn't. Offside is called. A stoppage in play with 18 minutes and 23 seconds remaining in the second period. Face-off will be just outside the Ravens zone. Trying to take the face-off for the Richmond Ravens. Puck is dropped. Face-off won by the Falcons. They carry it in, shoot it towards the net. It goes well wide and comes out to the far side. Puck in behind the net, picked up by a Falcon. Now the Falcons go back to the blue line. Falcons from the blue line. They're going to put it back down low. Ravens have to collect it. They're going to try and put it around to the near side, looking for some open ice. Ravens to the middle of the ice, and they get it out to the neutral zone. Unable to handle that pass cleanly, though, and now the Falcons have control of it. Falcons get to the Ravens blue line before it goes back into their zone. Now a race for it out the far side. Ravens unable to handle that one as the Falcons pick it up. Ravens go for a change. Falcons carry it into the Ravens zone, and now it gets into the slot where the Ravens defender, she's going to pick that up. Their pass forward, bouncing a little bit. Ravens get a stick on that one, and Cabana's off to the races. Cabana unable to get there first, though. Wing picks it up. Wing with a couple of great moves there, and now comes to the wall and back to the blue line. From the blue line now, and it's going to be called offside on the Richmond Ravens. 17:24 remaining in the second period. Ravens down by 1. 2-1 is the score. Just outside the zone. Shearer take the face-off. She wins that one. Get some help there from the Ravens forward. Now the puck goes back into the Falcons zone. Falcons backing in behind the net. Now a play around to the near side. It gets to the blue line, held by the Ravens. Now knocked down by Wing. Wing leaves it there for Sear. Sear tries to put it back to the blue line. It comes back in down low looking for Wing. Now behind the net, Kay has it. Kay's going to chip it off the wall. Back to the blue line. Sear from the blue line. She's going to shoot that. That's blocked in front. Goes out the far side. Now a shot. Blocked again, and now there's a race the other way as it hits some shin pads. The Ravens stop up with a great move there as they shake off a couple of players and carry it up the ice. Sear with it. She's going to cut to the outside. Now a backhand across the zone as it gets just in front of Wing. Sorry, just behind Wing. And now the play comes back across the far side as the Falcons take over and come into the Ravens zone. Falcons from the far side found on their shot. Play goes back off the wall and into the corner. Ravens with it now. They clear it out to the near side. Now battle for it in the corner. Ravens reverse the play as they're looking to open up the ice a little bit. Pass out to the middle and now picked up there by the Falcons. Falcons unable to get a clean shot off there as the Ravens take control of it. Now it changes hands again and now the Ravens come out back up ice. Ravens across the blue line now with a cut to the middle. Wing unable to break through the D though as the goaltender holds on to that one. We had a stoppage with 16:03 remaining in the second period. 2-1 is the score. Miguel to take the face-off for the Ravens. Puck is draw, face-off won by the Falcons as they get some help from their forwards. Cabana turns the player back the other way, and now the play comes back up the ice and out to the blue line. Held back there, now shot towards the net. Cabana unable to handle that one as it come off of her stick, and now the play over to the near side. From behind the net there, the Falcons have it. They're going to pass it over D to D. Now out into the Raven zone and down into the, picked up by the defender. She's going to pass that forward and gets it just past the Falcon player. Falcons now pick it up behind their own net. They're going to chip it around to the far side. Ravens step up on that one, and now the Ravens defender, Macy, has to be quick coming back. She's going to put it to an open wing on the near side, but that's picked up by the Falcons first. And now they come out right into a slot. Put it in the back of the net. Top corner on Babcock as one of the players got away on the Ravens there and was wide open in the slot there. 15-15 remaining in the second period. Ravens down 3-1. Puck is dropped, face off one by the Falcons. They're going to advance it forward into the Ravens zone. Ravens back to try and pick that up. Now the Falcons have it, shot towards the net. Babcock makes a save, rebound cleared out by the Ravens forward. Ravens carry it down into the zone, and now they go down low. Penalty coming up, and it's going to be against the Richmond Ravens. His wing is going to be called for a hit in the corner. Conversation happening with the refs and making sure that they hide their mouths from everybody with their hands. Wing is getting a 10-minute boarding call. With 14 minutes remaining in the second period. It's going to be a hit from behind. Wing is making her way to the change room. And the face-off is going to be deep in the Ravens zone. So it's a 2 and a 10. Ravens are in the penalty kill. Puck is dropped. It goes back to the blue line as the Falcons win the face-off. They come from the point. Now from the point, drop it back to the blue line. And a shot through traffic. That hit the crossbar and went out of play. No goal with 1:48 remaining in the penalty to the Richmond Ravens. 14:40 remaining in the second period. 3-1 is the score. Puck is dropped, face off one by the Ravens. It's in the corner. Now a battle ensues. The Ravens with it on their stick. Ravens are going to carry it. Hernandez, she puts it on net. That's just wide as it goes out the far side. Basket steps in. She's going to get pinched on the boards, and now the play continues. Ravens step up on that as Amadei reads the play, and now Amadei loses her footing, but play just turned back the other way as the Falcons work their way through the neutral zone. Falcons into the Ravens zone, and now the Falcons with push to the outside by the Ravens. Nishi. Ravens, yes, stick on it. Now they put it deep in the Falcons' end as the power play, our penalty kill unit changes up. Falcons in their own zone, turn it back the other way. They put it forward on the stick of the Ravens. Ravens high off the glass and down into the Falcon zone as they looking for some open ice. They're going to go off the wall, and it comes out into the neutral zone. Play forward into the Ravens' end, and now it goes down in behind the Ravens' net. Ravens first one there. Now out the near side, Ravens with a little bit of room as the player loses her footing. And now Tran chips it on her backhand into the Falcons' end. Falcons unable to handle the pass off the wall, but picked up by one of the forwards, and they're going to carry it into the Ravens' zone and out to the outside. From the outside, a shot towards the net. Ravens block that. Now the play continues. It goes in behind the Ravens' net. From behind the net on the near side, Ravens get a stick on that one, and it comes back down the ice as they clear. 14 seconds remains in the penalty to the Richmond Ravens. Tran in to put pressure on the Falcons forward, and now the Falcons get it in the neutral zone. Ravens now with it on their stick. Tran with it in her skates. Tran working her way to the outside. Now she gets turned back. Penalty expires to the Richmond Ravens. We're 5-on-5 again with the score 3-1. Puck bouncing around the neutral zone as it changes hands a couple of times, and now it's on the stick of the Falcons. They're going to put it down into the Ravens zone. Ravens with a pass D to D in their own zone, and now they bring it forward for Kay. Kay with a pass in the middle looking for Miguel. Miguel with it on her stick. A couple of moves, and now she shoots it. She hits the side of the net there. Now back to the blue line it comes. From the blue line, Sear has it. Sear, a shot from the point, saved by the goaltenders. It went D to D. Back to the blue line. From the blue line, the Ravens walk in with it. Now they try to pass it into the top of the circle, looking for Miguel. Miguel for Sear, or Sear for Miguel. Now Miguel across looking for Sear. Sear with a shot. Glove saved by the goaltender. 12:03 remains in the second period. 3-1 is the score. The face-off is going to be to the left side of the Falcons goaltender, deep in the Falcon zone. Miguel, sorry, that's Hernandez is going to take the face-off. She's got Cabana with her. And McDonald. Puck drop, face-off won by the Falcons. They're going to take it from behind their nets. Play read by Hernandez. Hernandez with it on the stick. She puts it back from Cabana. Cabana back to the blue line. From the blue line, Macy stops up. Back for Cabana down low. Cabana out front. Now a tip just wide of the net. Hernandez has it on her stick. Back to the blue line on the far side. Now a shot to the blue line. It bounces through. Rebounds there. Picked up by the defenders, or by the Falcons. And the goaltender dives on that. 11:40 remains in the second period. Play stopped, and it's going to be a face-off to the right side of the Falcons goalie. Penalty killers are changing up. Hernandez is going to take the face-off for the Ravens. Face-off won by Hernandez. Back to the blue line, D to D, and there's not much room there. Macy with a couple of great moves there. Now she cuts back over to the near side for Cabana. Cabana with it on the stick. Back looking for Macy. Plays red now, and now the puck gets past Macy, and there's a bit race for it. David back after it. David's going to pick it up. David chips it forward, now onto the stick of the Ravens. The Ravens are going to carry it in. McDonald from the outside, now cuts to the middle. A shot from the middle, just over top of the net. Cabana on the near side, she overskates the puck as the Falcons bring it back to her. And now they put it back in behind their own net. Stepping up on that is Pascal. Now it goes over to the blue line. Stepping up on that is the Ravens defender, David. He goes back to the blue line, held there by the Ravens forward, who's covering for a defender. Now from behind the net, Cabana gets a stick on that, but it's picked up there by the Falcons. Falcons with it on their stick. They're going to put it out to the middle. And now the Ravens, Macy with a couple of great moves there, getting it. Oh, back door for Cabana. Cabana not expecting that play. I don't think anyone in the building was expecting that play. Play comes back out to the neutral zone, and now Macy puts it down into the Falcons zone. Falcons with it on their stick. They're going to pass it across the zone, and that gets through the player. The Ravens get it on their stick. Ravens turn it back now, and they're going to carry it in. From the middle there, Tran with some speed to the outside. Now she's going to shoot it. That's blocked as it comes to the near side. Now the younger Tran has it. She's going to pass it around in behind the net. Now from behind the net, it's going to be put out in front. Bounces around in some feet. Now comes out into the high slot. Ravens, Tran with it in the high slot. Now she puts it back to the blue line. Shot to the blue line. Walkered away by the goaltender. She got it on net. Now from behind the net, back to the blue line, stepping from the blue line. And there's a knuckle puck. It goes just wide. And now cleared to the wall and past the defender, Macy. Play comes down into the Ravens zone. Ravens with it on the stick. Pass forward, hits a Falcon player. And now the rolling puck gets picked up by the Falcons. And they're going to get it out to the neutral zone. Now the Ravens have it. Ravens put it back in, and they're going to put Chase in. Play continues on the near side. Now a pass across the zone. That was picked up there by the Ravens, and now they're going to backhand it in as they have to touch up. From behind the net, play gets reversed. Onto the stick of the Falcons. Falcons get stopped at the blue line. It comes back into the Falcon zone. Falcons put it around to the far side as they had some pressure on them on the near side. Ravens step up. It comes to the middle. From the middle, a shot blocked. And now a rebound and a score. 5-hole by Sear. Sear 6 the player. Shot goes back off of one of the other players. Puts it underneath and puts the Ravens within One, 3-2 is the score with 9:03 remaining in the second period. Miguel to take the face off for the Ravens. Puck is dropped, face off comes down into the Ravens zone. They're going to pick that up from behind the net. They lose their footing and it's onto the stick of one of the Falcons. The Falcons back to the blue line. Right now they go D to D. They're going to put it back down low. Ravens unable to get a handle on it. Now they turn it back. A battle for it in the corner down low, and it's picked up there by the Ravens. They're going to carry it out with some room. Ravens unable to get across center as they chip it in, and now we're going to have icing called on the play. 8:34 remains in the second. Face off to the right side of Babcock, deep in the Ravens zone. Puck is dropped, face off won by the Ravens. They're going to carry it in behind their own net now. Over under the wall, down low. They get slowed up, able to get it out to the blue line and now into the neutral zone. Puck bouncing on the players. The play continues and the Ravens get it into the Falcons zone. They go D to D as they're trying to open the ice up a little bit. Ravens slow down the advancement. Now they're going to carry it in their own zone with lots of pressure on. The Ravens reverse the play in behind the net. And now up the wall, but there was a waiting Falcon there. Now the play back to the blue line. From the blue line, Ravens able to turn the puck over and get it out into the neutral zone. And now skating it down with it is Cabana. Cabana drops it back. Hernandez on her way to the net, and the play goes back the other way as the Falcons pick it up. Falcons with a shot, blocked there by the Ravens, and now the Ravens D get it going forward again. Play comes to the just carried forward, and now Hernandez with it on her stick. She's going to cut to the middle, and now from the blue line, shot towards the net, picked up by the goaltender. Handles that one easily. 7:23 remains in the second period. Face off to the right side of the Falcons goaltender. Trying to take the face off, 1-on-1 by the Falcons. The Falcons are going to put it around behind the net. Picked up there by Tran from behind the net. She puts it short side, saved by the goaltender. And the rebound just wide of the net as the goaltender was out of the play. Tran unable to put it on. Shot towards the net, picked up by the goaltender who holds on to that one. 7:05 remains in the second period. 3-2 is the score. Ravens with a great scoring chance. The D in the blue paint, the goalie out, but the puck goes just wide. Face off won by the Falcons. They're going to double back as they try to go up the wall. The Ravens defender holds the zone, and now the play goes in behind the net. From behind the net, it's trying to center it. Puck goes straight up in the air and comes out the short side. Now the Ravens back to the blue line. Shot to the blue, tipped just wide, and it goes over into the far side. Ravens back to the blue line. It gets past the defender, and now there's a race for it. The Ravens defender gets control of it, and now the Falcons have to touch up as the play would have been offside. They're going to fire it back in behind their own goal line, and Tran gives chase. Tran with a stick on that, and it's going to go up on a play, and the face-off will be deep in the Falcons zone with 6:27 remaining in the second period. Face-off won by the Ravens. They're going to go D to D. The puck comes off the blue boards on the near side. Shot towards the net. Hits a body in front. Comes up the side of the net. Now cleared to the outside by the Falcons. Sear tries to go back to the blue line. Miguel comes out and helps her out. Now Miguel shoots it right on. Saved by the goaltender. And it comes out to the near side. From the near side, play continues. Now Cade back to the blue line. From the blue line, it goes D to D. Now a shot towards the net. It goes wide. It comes out the near side. Ravens get a stick on that. Now the Falcons have it. Falcons carry it out into the neutral zone. Falcons down into the Ravens zone now. On the near side, they're going to carry it before it gets turned back. And now the Ravens have some open ice. Ravens skating in with it. They lose a handle on that one, but Sears going to pick that back up again. She centers it right on, saved by the goaltender as Kay was point blank. The goalie makes a great save. Puck goes down into the Ravens zone. Ravens are going to pick that up. Now with lots of pressure on them, they put it over in the near side, and it comes back out to the blue line. Falcons with it. Falcons get a turnover in the Ravens zone, and now they get it again. A battle goes for it, and now it goes down deep into the Ravens zone behind the Ravens goal line. Now it comes right out to the point. From the point, it gets fired back down low. From down low, behind the net, centering attempt. Ravens get one stick on it and deflect it out into the neutral zone where the Falcons have to regroup. Falcons chip it forward into the Ravens zone. Ravens with it on their stick, and now they're going to fire it deep. They're looking for a change as the forwards or the Ravens players have been on for some time now. Play comes down into the Ravens zone. Over there, the Falcons pick it up in the Ravens zone, and now they try to carry it to the middle. Ravens come together, and now the Falcons put it towards the net. Babcock makes a save and holds on to that with 4:33 remaining in the second period. Ravens take a face off. It goes to the Falcons. They win it back to the blue line. Now they just have to keep it in on the top of the circles. Ravens are able to get a stick on that. Now it comes to the point before it's cleared to the outside by the Ravens. The Ravens now carry it out into the neutral zone, and now they get past the first defender. They carry it in. Hernandez battling for it. But play goes around to the far side. It's cleared over there by the Falcons, and now the Falcons get it to the blue line and out. The Ravens have to retreat back in their own zone with some pressure on them. Amadei with it. She fans a bit on her clearing attempt. And now she's taken down. The Falcons walk out with it. Falcons working their way towards the Ravens net. Ravens pick it up take it behind the net. Now with a little bit of room, they're going to carry it up ice. Falcons make center ice and chip it deep. Play goes around to the far side for Tran. She tries to cut to the middle. Now Tran working it down low. It goes way up in the air, bounces on the blue paint. Play continues as the Ravens unable to capitalize on that one. Now Tran with it. She gets her shooting position shot right on. Rebound bounces around, and now off the post, and the goaltender jumps on top of that. We had a stoppage of play with 3:23 as the puck is going everywhere but in the back of the net. He went high in the air and bounced out the far side, and then Ravens had another chance, short side, off the post. The goaltender found it. Ravens are getting a warning about the hit after the play, but Tran stepped in after her sister was buried after the whistle. Puck is draw face off one to the wall by the Ravens. Puck is in behind the net. Now from behind the net, they try to center it out front. It gets in underneath the goaltender. Now a whistle goes. The ref loses sight of it, and we get a stoppage in play with 3 minutes and 16 seconds remaining in the second period. Puck draw face off one to the wall, this time by the Falcons. They're going to fire it around. Ravens are the first one there. Now a centering attempt by the Ravens. It gets onto the stick of one of the Falcons, and now the Falcons are going to carry it up ice on the near side. Falcons get to the Ravens blue line before they put it out to the neutral zone, and now they pick it up over the far side. Working their way into the Ravens zone. They just go across the seam again. Picked up by the Falcons on the near side again, deep in the Ravens zone and behind the net. Now battle for it behind the net. The Ravens pick that up, and now with control of it, they're going to put it off the glass and down the ice and into the neutral zone. Falcons go D-to-D as they're waiting for the forwards to touch up. And now the Ravens have to go collect it behind their own net. Ravens with it. They're going to reverse the play. It's picked up by one of the Falcons as they try to center it. Ravens pick that up now and get it back out into the neutral zone. Play comes back down into the Falcon zone. Falcons with it, and they have lots of room as the Ravens are looking a little bit labored here after a long shift here. Now the Falcons have it. Falcons over to the far side. There's a chip play, and now the Ravens have to come back and pick that up. Both teams on a change as Macy has it on her stick. Macy winds it up. Now her pass across the zone looking for the Ravens captain, McDonald. McDonald with it on her stick on her backhand, and now she tries a backhand wrap. Play bounces around in the blue paint, and now there's a stoppage in play with 2 minutes and 2 seconds remaining in the second period. As the goaltender holds on to that. Miguel to take the face off. McDonald and Sear. Miguel wins at the McDonald. McDonald puts it on net, saved by the goaltender, and now it's picked up by the Falcons. They go out the outside. McDonald reads that play, and she's going to put it back deep. The Falcons come across ice, D to D on the near side, and now the Ravens try to put some pressure on. The Ravens unable to hold the zone, though, as it comes back out to the neutral zone. Now the defender turns it back the other way, and the Falcons have it on their stick. They're going to chip it off the wall before it comes back into the Ravens zone. Ravens go D to D, and now pass back to the near side. Sear unable to handle it cleanly, but she's not going to pick it up. Now Sear working her way towards the net. Shot towards the net, goes up over the net, off the glass, and now the play continues in behind the net. A battle for it from behind the net. Play still alive, and the Ravens get it out. Miguel puts it back to the blue line. From the blue line, D to D. Ravens have to be careful, and now there's a breakaway. From the short side, work to the net. And it goes wide of the net. Chipped forward. Now the the Falcons have to collect it back in their own zone. They chip it back into the Ravens zone, and now they carry it towards the net. Babcock's going to hold on to that one. The play stops with 52.6 seconds. A little bit of... Now they're going to put one of the Ravens in the box with 52.6 seconds remaining in the second period. Sears going to be asked to go sit down for, I think, 2 minutes. And the Ravens go to the penalty kill. Yet again. 2 minutes goes on the clock. 52.6 seconds remaining in the period. 3-2 is the score. Coach is asking for an explanation about what's going on. The refs are explaining how they saw the play. Now a conference happening at center ice. Puck is dropped, face off, won by the Ravens. It goes in behind the Ravens net. A battle for it on the wall. Ravens win that one. They're going to just try and eat it down low and let the time tick off. Now a whistle goes as they say the puck is frozen. 35.4 seconds remaining in the period. 1 minute, 43 seconds remaining. The penalty to the Richmond Ravens. Basket coming on. Puck is dropped. Face off won by the Ravens. They try to clear it out and do. It's going to come all the way down the ice. The Ravens give chase as the Falcons come pick it up behind their own goal line. Their pass off the wall. Ravens unable to handle that one cleanly as they did step up and read the play. Now the Ravens turn it over and they put it back in the Falcons zone from the neutral zone. Falcons from behind their net. They have to corral the puck. Ravens happy to kill the clock here. Play goes up the wall, picked up by the Ravens, and now the Ravens are going to eat it on the wall. Ravens shoot it towards the net, saved by the goaltender who holds on that one. Whistle went. There probably was a second or two remaining in the period after the whistle, but they'll stop the period. Shots on goal 26-12 in favor of the Richmond Ravens. Welcome back for the start of the third period. We got 15 minutes on the clock. Ravens going to be a shorter player for a minute 7 or less. 3-2 is the score as we get started. Babcock makes her way to the net. Macy and David out there for the defenders. Looks like we're going to have Miguel and Sear as the forwards for this penalty kill starting the third period. Puck is dropped, face off one by the Falcons. They're going to put it into their own zone. Defender, she backs in, and now she tries to put it now, stripped of the puck by the Ravens forward. Ravens now carry it to a shooting position, shot right on, saved by the goaltender, now comes out to the near side. Falcons with it on their stick and advance it forward. That's going to be on the stick of the Ravens, who's going to put it right down on net. Picked up there by the defender before it gets there, though. Now she's stripped of the puck again. Ravens walking their way in, backhand saved by the goalie. Ravens now turn the puck back the other way again. They're going to go back in. This time the Falcons beat them there, and now they're going to carry it up ice. Falcons with it. They carried it into the Ravens zone. Ravens unable to handle it cleanly as it goes to the outside. Now the Falcons set up back to the blue line with a 1-3-1 and a fan on the shot. It comes back to the hash marks and back out into the neutral zone and down the ice as the Ravens get a penalty killing change. 7 seconds remains on the clock as the Ravens, I think, will kill this one off. We're 5-on-5 here in the third period. Ravens with it. They pass it into the slot before the Falcons get control of it. Falcons turn back by the Ravens. Now Falcons looking for some open ice. Falcons now get it into the neutral zone. Ravens turn it back. That's on the stick of Amadane. Play continues, and now the Ravens are going to get called for yet another penalty as the ref from behind the plays hand goes up as the coach calls for a penalty from the Falcon side. Falcons bring it into the Ravens zone, and now offside is called, and we're going to have a penalty off against the Richmond Ravens. It's going to be against Sear yet again, and she makes her way to the box. With 13 minutes and 21 seconds, the faceoff's going to come down into the Ravens zone. Macy and David out there with Hernandez. Puck is dropped, face off. Won by the Ravens. They try to clear it out. It goes high in the air, and now back to the point. From the point, McDonald gives chase. McDonald unable to get to the puck now as the puck goes across ice and into the Ravens zone. Ravens pick that up, and now cross-seam pass well ahead of Hernandez as Hernandez gives chase. The Ravens clear it down the ice, and now from behind the net. The Ravens are going to be happy to take over down there. Ravens have a penalty coming up, and it's going to be against the Falcons as they retaliate deep in their own zone. Tripping is the call, and we're 4-on-4 with a minute 26 remaining in the penalty to the Richmond Ravens. .12:47 remains in the period. Ravens down by 1. 4-on-4. Miguel out there for the Ravens forward. She's got Cabana with her. Face off won by the Falcons. They're going to carry it in behind their own net, and they rip it around over to the near side. He gets to the blue line where the Ravens step in and hold it down low. Play continues, and now another penalty coming up. Penalty is going to be called this time against Cabana for cross-checking. The Ravens go to the penalty kill. It's going to be 4-on-3 deep in the Ravens zone. And the Ravens are running into penalty trouble yet again. I think the refs are trying to get control of the game as the players' tempers are flaring. Macy, Miguel, and Hernandez are the players for this 4-on-3. Puck is dropped, and it's on a Macy stick. Macy fires it up ice. It gets past the defender. And now Falcons have to pick it up. They put it back to their own blue line, and now with a lead pass and Macy's stick. Macy, she finds an open wing and puts it down into the Falcons zone again. Miguel gives chase as the Falcons pick that up. Play into the Falcons zone as the Ravens pick that up in the neutral zone. And now Falcons working their way up ice. Falcons through the neutral zone, into the Ravens end. Now into a shooting position from the outside. They're going to carry it in behind the net. Now saved by Babcock as they try to wrap around. Puck comes back to the blue line. From the blue line now. Back over to the point. From the point, shot. Blocked there by the Ravens. Forward basket. She hits another block as she wears the shot. Hernandez unable to clear. Now it's on the stick of the Falcons. They're going to carry it down low. With a good stick check there by Basquet. Basquet has it. She's going to backhand it in behind the net. And the Ravens have some room. Ravens unable to get it out of the zone cleanly, though, as the Falcons step in and take over. Falcons walking their way into a shooting position. Now a couple of moves into the net. Shot wide of the net as it comes out the near side. Ravens now with a good play there by Hernandez. She's going to carry it up ice at the end of her shift. Hernandez now stick checked as she gets her pocket pick, but the play goes way down into the Falcon zone. Back to pick it up. Sear has it with some room. Sear doubles back. Now Sear with a pass forward onto the stick of Tran. Tran with a chip blast. Now Tran's going to pick that up. Tran holds on to that deep in the zone. It comes over towards the side of the net, and now the Ravens are on a penalty kill for 11 seconds. Play continues as the Falcons work it down into the Ravens zone. It's shot towards the net, well wide, comes out the backside. On a Nishi stick, Nishi passes it forward. Ravens with a one-touch, and that doesn't work out. Now right to the net. Babcock's going to make the save as the player gets a weak one towards the net. She's going to hold on to that one with 10:26 remaining in the third period. Down by 1, 3-2 is the Ravens. We're 5-on-5 here again with Tran. Going to take the face off for the Richmond Ravens. Puck is dropped. It goes out to the wall. Won by the Falcons. They get control of it. Put it towards the net. Babcock makes a save, and she's going to hold on to that one. 10:20 remains as the face-off happens on the right-hand side of Babcock. Puck drop. Face-off won this time by Tran. She puts it in behind her own net. Now play goes off the wall, and now back in behind the Ravens net. Nishi steps in after. She puts it over the near side, looking for Sear. Sear with it on her stick. It's passed forward. The Ravens unable to advance it forward as it turns over the neutral zone. Now Nishi has it. She's looking for the far side for Tran. Tran with a stop up, and now it's on the stick of the Falcons. Ravens now, they get control of it and put it into the Falcons' end. Falcons go back to pick it up as the Ravens give chase. Now off the wall, the Ravens pick that up. They try to turn it over and put it towards the net. It bounces around there in the blue paint before it comes out the near side. Now back to the blue line from the new blue line. Shot towards the net. It doesn't make its way through as it's knocked down in front. Makes its way to the net, and the goaltender pounces on top of that one. We get a stoppage of play with 9 minutes and 34 seconds remaining in the third period. (3-2) is the score. Miguel out there with Sear to take the face off. Puck drop, face off won by Miguel. Miguel puts it down low. She's going to pick it up herself. Now she gets double teamed down in the corner. She gets some help there from the Ravens forward. It goes in behind the net. Now the Ravens in after it. It gets cleared back to the blue, turned back behind the net before it goes out to the blue line on the far side. Now the Falcons have it. They're trying to hit a lead player coming down the near side. Sear with it. She steps in, and now the Falcons have it. Falcons put it to the side of the net. Babcock unable to handle that one cleanly as it goes all out underneath of her. Now play goes on to Miguel's stick. Miguel is going to carry it forward. She puts it across looking for some open ice on the far side as Sear gives chase. Now the play gets turned back. Ravens pick that up. Now it's in K's feet. K back to the blue line. But from the blue line, it's put over into the deep in the zone on the near side as the Ravens try to get some control down low. Now the Falcons have it with a little bit of room. They're going to put it up ice. That's into the feet of the Richmond Ravens, and the Ravens now have control of it. Ravens cutting into a scoring position from the backhand. Shoot it towards the net. It goes in behind the net, and now back out front. A shot blocked. The goaltender doesn't have her stick, but the Falcons are able to clear the zone. Now the Falcons come down with some speed on the outside. Ravens defender, Sear, does a great job of holding the play in down low. It takes a funny bounce off the back wall, and now the Ravens have to be careful as it comes into the high slot. Ravens clear it out to the wall more and making sure she gets it out of the zone, and now it gets into the Falcons zone. The Falcons back in their own zone go D to D. Falcons through the neutral zone. They're going to carry it to the far side now, coming from the far side, and they take it deep. The Ravens keeping it to the outside, though, as it gets in behind the Ravens net. Now, play a battle for it, and coming out with it is the Falcons. Falcons from the top of the circles, and they shoot it. Babcock makes the save, and it goes out the far side. Hernandez with it on her stick. She's going to carry it to an open through the middle where she cuts up and goes in through the neutral zone. Now a backhand pass onto the stick of one of the Falcons, and they're going to put it back up ice. Ravens collect that. Now they're looking for an outlet play, and they get it into the neutral zone, and put down into the Falcons end by McDonald. Play continues in behind the Falcons net. It comes out to the near side. Falcons with it on their stick. They get it out to the neutral zone before it's on the stick of the Ravens. Ravens now, they're going to wait for a touch up, and now they're going to push it back in. Ravens chip it back deep, and from down low, they have control of it. From behind the net, the play gets reversed back, and now the Ravens, with a couple of spin moves, looking for some open ice, try to put it back to the front of the net. It comes off the wall, from the back of the wall, from off the wall, put towards the net, and rebound, and it's in the back of the net as the Ravens tie it off with 6 minutes and 51 seconds remaining in the third period. The Ravens capitalize on a shot from the point that causes a rebound in front, and they're waiting for it. Goal scored by, I think that's Tran. We're tied here with 6:51 remaining. Nishi and Amade are the defenders out here. Puck is dropped, face-off won by the Ravens. Sear's going to take that to the outside. Sear carries it deep. Sear stops up with a spin move, and now she tries to center it. That comes over the side of the net, and the goaltender handles that one awkwardly, but she gets it covers it up with 6 minutes and 39 seconds remaining in the game. Face-off is going to be to the right side of the goalie, deep in the Falcons zone. Puck draw, face-off won by the Falcons. They're going to put it in behind their own net. Now they lose their footing about 5 feet out from the boards. She goes into the wall awkwardly, but the play continues as it comes up the near side. Now chipped up into the neutral zone, and the Ravens have to be careful as there's a foot race for it, and the Falcons come out with it. Falcons are 2-on-1, unable to get the pass off, though, as the Ravens keep it to the outside. Now the Ravens get control of it. The play continues, and the Ravens get forward. Tran gets the blue line before it gets put back deep. Amade with it. Amade takes a hit. Pass comes out to the Falcons, and now a shot right on, saved by Babcock. 6:03 remains in the third period as Babcock holds on to that one. Morin out there for the Ravens defender. She's got Sear with her. Sear taking the face off with Kay and Tran. Puck comes off the back wall, picked off there by the Ravens. Morin with it on his stick. Morin out to the blue line, but not out. Now shot towards the net, blocked there by Sear. Shot goes out to the far side, now picked up there by the Ravens. Sear. Puck puts off the wall, but not out as it's sealed off, and now gets back in behind the Ravens net. Morin back in after it. Morin unable to handle that one cleanly, but gets some help there from Sear. Sear backhands it forward, looking for Kay. Kay chips it for Sear. And he goes into the slot, and a shot goes up over the glass and out of play. Face off to the left side of Babcock. Sear to take the face off. Puck is dropped. Sear wins that face off with some help with Kay, and now it comes back over. She loses the handle on it. Now play goes back into the high slot. Whoop. Just off the stick of the Falcons, and now the Ravens clear it to the outside. Play continues as the Falcons try to center it. Now the Ravens are going to get it on their stick. Ravens carry it to the outside. That's Tran with it. Tran cuts to the outside now. She's in a fight off a check, and she works her way to the net. Centering attempt, and the Ravens with it. Shot right on. Blocked there in front, though. Now the Sear has it back to the blue line. Ravens walk the blue line. Sear with it. She shoots it towards the net. Tip right on. Saved by the goaltender. Ravens hold it in. And now with it, they backhand it deep. From the corner, Ravens turning and burning with it. Now put it back down low in behind the net. Falcons with it on their stick. They're looking for some open ice. Now they find an open player on the near side. It's going to get chipped up before the Ravens get it on their stick. Morin, she's going to go D to D for Sear. Sear back to Morin. Morin takes it in her feet. Now she has to get rid of it quickly. She had some pressure on her. Now the Ravens have a little bit of room as the Falcons have to clutch up offside. Long lead pass for the Ravens forward as the Falcons were on a change. Ravens able to get it to the net. Saved, though, by the goaltender who holds on to that one as it trickled in on her. 4 minutes and 13 seconds remaining in the game. Ravens tied here 3. Miguel wins the face-off back to the blue line, and from the blue line, shot towards the net. Hits a body and goes wide. Now with it, Cabana with it on her stick. Puck comes out to the side of the net from behind the net. They try to put it out front. It bounces around on the blue paint on the goal line and now in behind. Back out front, now cleared to the blue line. From the blue line, Ravens unable to get a clean shot off. David steps up with it. David carries it down low. Now back up off the wall, and the Falcons are going to pick it up. Falcons with a lead pass, and that's on the stick of David again. David gains center ice and puts it back down low. No ice on the play as the puck comes back in the corner. The Ravens stop up. They are going to try and work it down low and from behind the net. Now Ravens over on the near side. Lots of pressure on them. Now comes back to the blue line. From the blue line, shot towards the net. Saved by the goaltender who holds on to that one. 3:18 remains in the third period. 3-3 is the score. Face off to the right side of the Falcons goaltender, deep in her own zone. Puck is dropped, face off one out by the Falcons. They're going to carry it in behind their net as they get pressure from the Ravens. They get to the half wall on the far side. Now they're going to carry it up. Puck comes into the Ravens zone, and Nishi's going to turn it back the other way. Basquette with it on her stick. Basquette carries it over on the near side. Now she steps up and she's looking to set something up. Her backhand towards the front of the net gets cleared to the outside by the Falcons. The Falcons now up off the wall, and they get it past the defender for the Ravens. Now back checking the Ravens. Stop it up. As the Falcons go back to their defender. They come across the ice on the near side, now just chip it in. Play continues as the puck comes down into for Amade. Amade backhands it. Now it's centered. Ravens able to clear it out to the wall, but Falcons now get control of it again. Now into the shooting position. Falcons still with it. Now a shot towards the net. Tip right on, saved by Babcock. Picked up there by Basquette. Basquette's going to chip it up ice. That's going to hit one of the Falcons, and now the Ravens are going to go for a change. Falcons find an open player, but it gets just in front of her. Now they center it. Ravens read that. Now backhanded forward, and Basquette unable to clear it out. Falcons cut to the middle, and the Ravens have control of it. Sear on the far side, up off the glass and into the ref. Ravens get control of it, and now they carry it down low. Ravens continue into the Falcon zone with it, now try to center it. Still on their stick. Shot, short side, saved by the goaltender, now from behind the net. Ravens back to the point. Shot, wide of the net. From behind the net, goes into the corner. The Ravens put pressure on down low. A minute 36 remains in the period. Ravens with it. Their centering attempt bounces on the goal or on the defender, and she has to go out and pick that up. Off the wall, she tries to put it back deep, and that ends up going into the bench. The play face-off will be outside the zone. A minute 24 remaining in the third period. 3-3 is the score. Miguel will have to take the face-off for the Richmond Ravens. Puck drop, face-off won by the Ravens. They go over to the far side. Now the Ravens are going to try and backhand it deep. Ends up on the stick of the Falcons. Ravens hold the blue line briefly, and now we're going to have an offside called against the Richmond Ravens with a minute 13 remaining in the game. Miguel gets. Ravens only have 4 players on. Oh, they got 5 players on the ice. Apologies. Face off one back by the Ravens. It gets on the stick of David. David is going to fire it in deep. The Ravens give chase. Falcons up the wall on the far side. They reverse the play in behind their own net. Ravens with 59 seconds remaining in the game. Falcons trying to advance it out. Ravens holding it in. Gets on the stick of the Ravens. Ravens try to go back to the blue line. Now they do. Shot hits a body. Goes well wide, but deep in the zone. 43 seconds remains on the clock. Falcons with it on their stick. Ravens now step in. Back on the Falcons stick. They get it past the defender. Back after it's David. And we're going to have icing on the play with 32.1 seconds remaining in the third period. Three is the score. Hernandez to take the face off. Puck dropped over to Tran. Tran back to the blue line. From the blue line back down low. From behind the net. In after it. The Ravens unable to hold it. Now Macy steps in. She holds it deep. Macy walks her way into a shooting position. Shot right on. Saved by the goaltender. We get a stoppage of play with 17 seconds remaining in the game. Puck is dropped, face off won by the Ravens. They're going to carry it in down low. A couple of moves and now put it towards the net. Goaltender holds on to that one. We got 11.4 seconds remaining in the third period. 3-3 is the score. Hernandez to take the face off. Puck drop, face off won by Hernandez. She goes back looking for David on the far side. Ravens unable to handle that one, knowing but they hold it in. Now the Ravens still with it. Now back to the blue line. The shot hits a stick, and now it goes wide of the net. At the buzzer. Final score 3-3. Shots on goal 37-18 in favor of the Richmond Ravens.